4, and John Hughes 8,000 at 5 to 4 and 5,000 at 6 to 5. Tremendous battle down here. 9 to 2 First Lieutenant and 9 to 2 against Bobsworth, with a week joined together at 7 to 1 for Grand Cru. What a key race this is. He's only running in the race because I told them to go for the RSA. Yeah. If this wins, I think I should get half the prize money.
You should do, and I just canvassed the bookmakers gone down.
I'm not sure whether he's good enough, but in terms of what you're looking for having a spin round here over 3 miles, both him and First Lieutenant, wonderful. Grand Cru, he's not everybody's idea of what you're looking for in a chaser, but in terms of the way he jumps and travels, Jim.
Yeah, he's got the best form, but you wouldn't pick him out in the paddock. If you came to pick one just in the paddock, you wouldn't choose him. But it's how they run eventually. Obviously, how they look is important too, but how they run is the most important thing.
My only concern about him is we haven't seen him for some time.
Come on.
This is a race that plenty are looking forward to, and away they go for this RSA chase towards the first fence. And Mr. Moonshine along the inside of Cannington Brook, with Joined Together out wide in the green sleeves as they race in front of the stands. A couple of circuits ahead of them. First Lieutenant is fourth from Bobsworth, then Walk On, then Lambro on the inside of Call the Police, and Grand Cru is settled in last place by Tom Scudamore as they race slightly uphill towards the second. Another plain fence, and Joined Together was the leader at that. Joined Together from Cannington Brook in second place, then Mr. Moonshine, and First Lieutenant, winner here 12 months ago on the outside then of Bobsworth, also a winner here at this meeting last year, followed by Walk On, Call the Police, Lambro and Grand Cru as they jump the next slightly downhill, and all then safely onto the water jump. And Joined Together on the far side of Cannington Brook as they come in to take this from First Lieutenant, Bobsworth and Mr. Moonshine, who's often a front runner. Mr. Moonshine Joined Together, who made a lot of the running when winning here last time out. As they now jump an open ditch, and Joined Together really stood off that. Out jumped his rivals. Joined Together, Cannington Brook in second, First Lieutenant is third, then Bobsworth in the red cap on the outside in fourth place, disputing fourth with Mr. Moonshine as they took the next from one of the greys, Walk On, Call the Police, then Lambro, and still Grand Cru at the back of the field. Heading now towards another open ditch, and it's Joined Together and Ruby Walsh in the Paul Barber colours carried from time to time by that great horse Denman. Put himself right there, and a blunder for Cannington Brook, and Joe Tizard had to sit pretty tight. Cannington Brook jolting Joe back into the saddle as they reach the top of the hill. Joined Together, First Lieutenant. Cannington Brook remains handy with Mr. Moonshine on the inside. Then Bobsworth, Walk On, Lambro the inner of Call the Police, and Grand Cru on this first circuit. Not too many dramas, just that mistake by Cannington Brook. As Joined Together leads First Lieutenant, who's racing very powerfully. Bobsworth right there on the outside. And First Lieutenant just picked up ahead there in the hands of our morning line guest this morning, Davy Russell. And pretty keen is First Lieutenant from on the inside. Joined Together. On the left is Bobsworth and Barry Geraghty, looking to follow up that win on Simon Sig half an hour ago as they run into the turn. Walk On is tracking them with Mr. Moonshine round the inside, Cannington Brook, then Lambro and Grand Cru and Call the Police. Next fence comes up quickly after the turn, and again the jumping pretty accurate there as they go on to what'll be their last after another circuit in this RSA chase. And First Lieutenant and Joined Together, followed in third by Bobsworth, then Walk On and Mr. Moonshine. Call the Police taking slightly closer order in the blue and white hoop jacket worn by Paul Townend, followed then by Grand Cru and Lambro, and Cannington Brook has now dropped to the rear of the field. On towards the next, going away from the stands, and all safely over with First Lieutenant from Joined Together just getting a shake of the reins there, and lads, Tom Scudamore in no rush here, very quietly on the favourite.
He is. Unfortunately for him, the horse keeps jumping him into the race, and he'd ideally like to be just sitting 2 or 3 lengths off of them, but every time he gets to a fence, doesn't matter whether he's on a good stride or not, he's getting a length out of them. But maybe the fizz will go out of him. I think they've just stepped it up a gear now as they've turned out into the far side.
First Lieutenant has run pretty free enough for
for Davy Russell, I'd say more than he wants really. He's using himself a bit.
And First Lieutenant joined together again on the near side. Bobsworth has always been handy out wide of that pair as they now jump the next. Another open ditch and all safely over. And it's Bobsworth and First Lieutenant joined together, just pushed along for a stride or two after that fence. Walk On is behind them with Grand Cru and Call the Police, and joined together, got in too close there and loses more impetus, now drops back as they race towards the next turn and the final open ditch. And it's Bobsworth and First Lieutenant tracked by Walk On. They're stalked by Grand Cru on the inside, and then Call the Police at this open ditch. Bobsworth really stood off it, tried hard from First Lieutenant. Grand Cru on the bridle, still in behind from Walk On and Call the Police. Then Mr. Moonshine, who's booted along now from Lambro, joined together, has dropped away, and Cannington Brook can't go with them. So about to run downhill towards the final three fences, and it's First Lieutenant and Bobsworth, both winners at the festival last year. They're tracked by Grand Cru, just shielded in behind them. Walk On the outside, a runner-up in a Triumph Hurdle, coming there with a big chance in the hands of Robert Thornton, but Grand Cru is coasting. Here's the third last. First Lieutenant got pretty tight there. Grand Cru didn't have a lot of room coming between Bobsworth. Walk On now feeling it, followed by Call the Police as they run down towards the home turn, and it's Bobsworth. Grand Cru niggled a bit. First Lieutenant on the inside. They're fighting for racing room as they run into this final left-hander, and it's Bobsworth on the outside of Grand Cru. First Lieutenant the inside, and Grand Cru just lacking a little bit of speed perhaps there. First Lieutenant and Bobsworth as they race to the second last. First Lieutenant from Bobsworth. Grand Cru struggling to go with them. That's a big surprise. Here's the final fence, and it's Bobsworth and First Lieutenant, and they're over as one. Bobsworth on the near side, First Lieutenant on the far side. Barry Geraghty and Davy Russell, they've come well clear. Grand Cru badly beaten, and it's Bobsworth stretching his neck, and he's going to follow up his Albert Bartlett win 12 months ago, this time in the RSA chase. Another win for Nicky Henderson. In second, First Lieutenant. Call the Police third. Grand Cru barely holding on to fourth from Walk On. Then Lambro, followed by Mr. Moonshine and Cannington Brook. Well, it's Barry's day here today after Simon Signal. Bobsworth for his governor, Nicky Henderson. Bobsworth, who won here over 3 miles over hurdles last year. His jumping's just been a little bit patchy on one or two occasions in his novice chase career so far, but he's got a great attitude. He really showed it here, and he's come up the hill very strongly. First Lieutenant just a bit keen in the early stages, might just have cost him in the final climb, but what a disappointment. Grand Cru not finding much from the home turn.
Barry is saying you go back a while, you and Bob.
Yeah, I know Bob since he was a one. We bought him as a yearling, and Nicky bought him off me as a 4-year-old, myself and my brother. He just keeps winning.
I mean, he's so extraordinary. Franks and I came to Henderson's, and he is nothing to look at, is he? He's not an athlete, he's not big, there's nothing that stands out.
No, he's a simple sort, really. Jumps and tries. He's only 3 hurdle races. He's won. He's only chased now in Cheltenham, so he's 4 out of 4 here. He's tough and he's genuine. He does everything you want.
He is just so cool. His heart is as big as a lion, even if his body doesn't quite match up.
No, he's sweet.
Well done.
Thanks.